Hey everybody, welcome to a very special episode of Just Open It. I think I'm going to call this the Just Open It Book Club because I've recently acquired some action figure related books that I would like to open for you here on YouTube, as I do every week in this series, Just Open It. My name is Russ. Thank you very much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you're a fan of action figures or toy collecting or pop culture in general, please subscribe to my channel, Karaoke Fanboy TV. As I said, every week I will be opening recently acquired toys. But this time, I'm going to open the Varner Studios Sketchbook that I recently ordered. Now, Varner Studios, if you don't know, you could follow them on Instagram, as I did. They were suggested in my feed at some point in the recent past, and I discovered that Varner Studios is a toy design studio that designed many of the toys that I have in my collection today, and some of which I'd still like to have. They designed many Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figures. They also designed a lot of McDonald's Happy Meal toys. So I am all about the history of this design studio, and they recently had a crowd-funding campaign, crowd-funded campaign for a book of sketches that I didn't contribute to the crowdfunding, but I did purchase the book after their goals were reached. So it arrived this past week as I record this, and I am excited to open it for you now. Now, obviously, this is a book of some size, so I'm not going to read the book before your eyes here. Instead, what I'd like to do is just open it and share my first impressions with you. And in fact, I have some other action figure related books that I think I'll be opening in the near future, creating this kind of series within a series, the Just Open It Book Club. So, let's dive into this thing. I'm really excited about it. I've removed the shipping label, but it did come from Varner Studios out of Torrance, California. Pair of scissors here. Try to maintain the integrity of the package as much as I can, in this case, because there is a book inside. Okay. It's so inspiring to me, as somebody that likes to draw and draws and self-publishes his own comics, that many of the toys I love began as illustrations. That's not something I thought about as a kid, or even as an adolescent going into my 20s. I really didn't think about the design of toys. I just bought them off the pegs. But as I got older and as the internet kind of educated us more about the history of these toy companies, you realize that yes, this all started, action figures in general start as a drawing on somebody's drawing board, and they draw a blueprint, they draw a character design, and then a blueprint of how the action figure would articulate and be constructed. And it's a really inspiring process that I'm sure many toy collectors are very familiar with, and my talking about it here seems elementary, but it just wasn't something that I thought about as a collector. And so to have this book in my collection is a testament to the fact that there are so many unnamed graphic designers and artists that contributed to the sculpts and designs of these characters and toys that I love. So you can see as I'm removing this book that it is a tome. It is a hefty volume here. And very neatly packaged in a perfectly sized box. So hats off to Varner Studios for that, or Varner Studios. You know, it's interesting because it's Varner Studios, V-A-R-N-E-R. And it's just a letter, obviously, away from Warner Brothers Studios. So I'm sure they face that issue often. So here's some bubble wrap that I am unfurling. Easy enough, beautiful. The book does not have any dinged corners and has arrived in excellent shape, so I'm very grateful for that. Varner, again, beautifully packaged. And I'll tell you what, as I remove this from the box, I did not notice this on the cover image online when I purchased it, but it says established 1979. Just like me, I was born in 1979, so this is a very cool personal connection. But you can see from the cover, man, look at that. Look at those beautifully sketched designs of Ninja Turtle characters. I believe that a majority of this book is dedicated to their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles designs. So here on the back is just another incredible image of the Krang body and the original Krang. And then I believe we're seeing here some of the Jim Lee inspired Ninja Turtle designs that became figures. So what a beautiful hardcover package here, right off the bat. Incredible. And so, I'm going to set it here on the table, take a good look at it myself, and dive in here. We have Caveman Leonardo down here, you might have noticed. And most of the Ninja Turtles here are in some sort of costume. There is a scribble in here, which may very well be an autograph of some kind, a signature. That's cool. But you can see from the very first page the backstory with that first Ninja Turtle sculpt there. I mentioned that sculpt when I opened the recently released commemorative Michelangelo. And so, just to read this very briefly for you here. Varner Studios has been creating toys and action figures since its conception in 1979. Again, also conceived in 1979. And has continued to be a staple in the toy industry for over 40 years. Steve Varner originally started out in the motion picture industry as a prop sculptor, where he moved on to become a sculptor for Mattel in the 70s, eventually forming his own company. In 1986, Playmates approached Steve to create a TMNT toy based off of the comics to pitch to Mirage. The result was this prototype, the original Pitch Turtle. Mirage loved it and sent us to work. But before we started the sculpting process, we needed our artists to get to work on 2D concept designs. The two men leading the way behind these concepts were Howard Quigley Chang and Russell Vossler, otherwise known as Rav. But again, Russell, that's my name. So there's some rich synchronicity at the very least, but to me, kind of a spiritual connection here. Combined, they would go on to design hundreds of turtle figures, drawings over... Okay, hold on. Combined, they would go on to design hundreds of Turtles figures drawings over their time with us. Also included in this book are artists, and then there's a list of artists here. I don't want to mispronounce their names, so I'm not going to attempt it, but the last sentence here is, contained in this book are the best of the best drawings that were the guide for all your favorite figures, along with some concepts that never saw the light of day. So you got to think, if this is the best of the best, how many of those drawings just landed on the cutting room floor? Just were never developed. And again, you could follow them on Instagram to see some of those. But it's incredible just to think of the pre-production that goes into so many of the toys we love. So, in the interest of time, I'm just going to open this book randomly and see what your middle of the volume page design looks like and share that with you, and encourage you to find these guys online, and if still available, order your copy, because I'm already impressed. But again, just kind of a, oh man, just opening randomly here. We have what's called a Black Knights shredder and a talking shredder. And how cool does that look? Holy cow. That is incredible. And let's see here. Let's just do one more. Go about 2/3 the way into the book. This is fun. Holy cow. And what's fun here, some of the notes. But look at that. Look at that. I found 2 great pages randomly. Superhero turtle design there. What is that? Kind of like a Wolverine? Terror 2, Mutant Rebel Turtle. Drawn the day before my birthday in 1992. Incredible. And then this one over here is signed Russ, and it's the X-ray specs. I don't know if these were ever made, but how amazing is this to have access to this part of the history of this action figure line and the history of this studio, Varner Studios, who is finding amazing new relevance and sharing these decades-old drawings. The book was, I believe, $50. I'm not 100% sure I'm right about that, but I believe it was no more than $50. And And there's the spine there as well. You can see that. So I'm very pleased with the purchase. I think it was worth it to dive in to these drawings and experience the development of this toy line. I would presume in some sort of real time if the drawings are shared chronologically. And what an incredible way to celebrate a 40-year-old studio with action figures that are 25 plus years old. And I'm just so excited to have this and to include it in the Just Open It series, because now we've gone not just from opening toys that I'm buying, but kind of celebrating the legacy of action figures in pop culture, and especially as art. To think about action figures as sculptures that you're bringing home, with sculptures with articulation, with action, and to realize that it began as pencil sketches from the hands of men and women that are graphic designers at the drawing board is super cool. So I hope this encourages you to either find this book or find similar books and literature like this to enjoy your action figure collecting all the more. So thank you for joining me for this first installment of the Just Open It Book Club. Tune in next time when I find another piece of literature related to action figures around my place here that I've purchased. I grab it, still in its packaging, and I tell myself, you know what? Just open it. I'll catch you next time.